Hi students, welcome back to the video lecture on software engineering. So in our last video lectures, we have already discussed different process activities and we have already discussed the three process models. Now we have to discuss how to accommodate the changes that may arise in future by the user. So today's topic is coping with change in the user requirement. So let's see what is that coping with change, how we are going to rework our software and how we are going to reduce the rework cost. So the change is inevitable in all large software projects. So what actually that means? The change is inevitable. So inevitable means what? Something that is surely going to happen and we cannot avoid that change. So we have to accommodate those changes. So why the changes occurs? Because our user requirement is actually changing into day to day. So when we are developing a software, that time the user's requirement may be different, and when the user started to using the software and after some years the user change may be different. So we have to accommodate those changing needs of the customer. So that's why we have to rework on our software that has been already developed by us. Suppose consider we are now in 2020. Our software has been developed in the year 2015. So now the environment has changed, now the circumstance has changed. So we have to accommodate what actually my customer needs now, that means in 2020. We have some sort of model and we have some sort of processes by which we can accommodate the user's needs. So let's see why the change occurs and why we need to accommodate those changes. So why the change occurs? Because business changes lead to new and change system requirements. If I am using a software for my business and I am using the software that will calculate the price of the product or the final cost of the product based on 15% of GST. If after 1 year or 2 years the GST has been changed and we should modify our software, the GST changed to 20%. So we should modify our software to 15% GST to the 20% GST. So that is a changing needs. So we have to modify our software. That actually there we are accommodating the needs of the customer. If the GST changed to 15% to 20% and I am going to use the same software that I have been developed in last 2 years, that then the cost will never be calculated as the correct one. We have to accommodate the customer change. So we have to rework on the software. The next is new technologies open up new possibilities for improving implementation. So what actually that means? When the Facebook has developed, the Facebook uses the front end software as PHP and they have used the Java, C++ and all for the backend. So they have used what? PHP, Java and C++. But now they came up with the React, that is a open source JavaScript library. So actually the React was introduced by Facebook. Now Facebook is using React to modify or to improving the quality of the Facebook. So whenever we came up with a new technology, that means we should follow the new technology to improve our quality. Like if you are familiar with C and C++ language, but what actually the trending language now? Now the trending language are Python, PHP, React, so all these are the trending language. So are you going to get a job based on C and C++? No. After BCA or ITM or computer science, you are going to learn some new technology. Those are PHP, your React, your Python. So you have to complete all those courses and after then you will get a job for sure and you will get that job easily. So that's why you are preferring the new technologies. So consider in ancient days the teachers are using blackboard and chalks to teach their student. But now we are using the PPTs, we are using the digital classes to teach our students. So that is how the technology changes. So we have to accommodate with the new technology. If new technology comes to in the market, or we came to know that something new technology available there, we can use those new technology to improve our quality. Like you can take another example. Suppose you want to make a home, or you want to make any graphics by using C. So this is a very difficult for us. We can develop a graphics, or we can develop a house, or whatever else. We can add some graphics to our program by using C, but it will be very difficult. But there are some other technology like HTML, JavaScript, Ajax, PHP. So we can use those new technology and we can develop a graphics, or we can add some graphics to our program very easily. That is how the technology changes. And whenever the technology changes, we came to know that the technology is changing, or we are with the new technology, we should adapt the new technology to improve our quality. The next is changing platforms require application changes. So what actually that means, changing platform requires? So in our last class, when we have discussed the reuse software engineering, so there we have discussed that for the 2016 admission batch, if you are not getting me, you just go back to the reuse software engineering, watch the video, then you can clearly understand. So what I gave the example is, for the 2016 admission batch, the rule for the pass grade is the total mark should be greater than equals to 33. So for the next, that means 2017 batch, the pass grade criteria has been changed, and the criteria was the total mark should be greater than equals to 33, but individually or personally that student should be obtained in case of semester mark, that is from out of 80 he should obtain 26. So there we have to change our software. Our platform has been changed. Whatever the platform or whatever the software that has developed for 2016 batch, that for the 2017 batch the criteria changed. That means we have to create a new platform where we can calculate the result of 2017 batch student. So that's why we are changing our software. Like that, when we are using a smartphone, normally the applications are developed for the Android operating system. But now we have the applications that can run in Android operating system, that can run on Windows operating system, and also that can run on iOS, that means Mac operating system. So that means for the changing platforms, for the changing requirements of the user, or for the new technologies, we have to change our software. That means we have to rework our software. So whenever we are talking about the rework, that means we are going to redesign our software. So we will go back to the requirement engineering, then we will again do the software design, then we will go for the software implementation and testing, then we will again deploy the software to the customer. So that means we are redesigning our software. So whenever we are going to redesign our software, that means the cost will be more. If I am spending 5 lakhs to design or to develop a software, then it will take 2 to 3 lakhs for again to redesign the software. So how we are going to reduce the cost? What are the methods that by applying those methods, the cost of rework will be reduced? So for take an example, suppose for your super seniors, the syllabus for software engineering is different. There the textbook is Rajiv Mal. But now we have a new software engineering syllabus and the textbook referred as Ian Somerville. So for your junior batch, the syllabus for the software engineering is also different. So I will feel, if my basic is not clear, if I don't know what actually the software engineering, and I will only prefer the Rajiv Mal book, then what actually happen, I will feel very difficulty when I will go for teaching you and your junior batch, because the Rajiv Mal textbook is preferred for your super seniors. So what actually I need to clear my fundamentals. Like if you are facing some problem in Java or C++, that means you don't have a basic clear concept on C, or you don't have a basic clear concept on computer fundamental. So we should clear our basic concept so that whatever the language it may be, whatever the textbook it may be, we cannot feel any difficulties to adapt the new concept or to adapt the new technology. So the only requirement is our basics should be strong. We should know where to start. We should make us capable to adapt anything, any technology, any language, any concept. So we should make us as strong. So that is actually what I need. So in the software engineering case also, when we are developing a large software project, that means we have been putting our best effort, our best cost, our time. So that means we should make our software so flexible so that it can accommodate any changes if the user requires. So let's see what are the methods to reduce the cost of rework. So for the reducing the cost of rework, the first one is change anticipation. So what actually that change anticipation means? Change anticipation means where the software process includes activities that can anticipate possible changes before significant rework is required. So what actually that means? That means before the customer will come and say me, this is my changing requirements, I should anticipate what actually the changes. Suppose I am teaching you software engineering, and I have already told you that the case studies are most important part of the software engineering. Why? Because I know that you people will not going to understand anything without a real case study. That's why I am giving you some examples like your CMS, your weather information system, mental health care information system, your insulin pump control system. So these are our real life examples. We are encountering with them in our day-to-day life. So I am giving all those examples to you because I know that if I will skip those examples, after completion of the chapter, you are going to ask me what actually that means a embedded system. Ma'am, can you please give us an example? I know that my students are going to ask me this question. So before you ask me what are the examples of an embedded system, I already gave you the example, that is the weather information system, or that may be a mental health care system, or that may be a insulin pump control system. I know that you will not understand the diagram of the software design process. That's why I gave you the example of college management software. You are familiar with the college management software. If I gave you some other example from the book, then I know that will be very difficult to you to understand the diagram. That's why I have already given you. That means before asking me what is the example, how the design process is going to implement, what actually the process that involves in the software reuse oriented software engineering, I know that. So before you ask me, I anticipate what actually the question may arises from my student side. That means I have anticipated all the question by giving all the examples before you ask me. That is the question anticipation or question avoidance. So in case of copying with change, we come up with the word that is change anticipation. If I am developing a software, I know that the customer may require some new changes after delivering and after deploying the software to the customer. So before customer come to me and tell me these are my new changing requirements, I will anticipate what actually the changes that I am going to face. And now I am going to accommodate those changes that is going to happen in future. So that is change anticipation. And for that change anticipation, what actually we are using a software prototyping model. So what is software prototyping? Software prototyping means we are going to develop a demo software where maybe all the functionalities will not come, but some of the functionalities, those actually my customer is going to understand, I will put all those functionalities and I will deploy the demo version of the software to the customer. Then the customer will review those prototype model, that means the demo model. So what actually I am saying, take another example. Suppose I am going to buy a new smartphone, that is Samsung M21. So what actually I will do? I am not going to buy the Samsung M21 mobile from the shop directly. What actually I will do? I will go for the pros and cons of the Samsung M21. How I can go for that? Either I will go to the Chrome and I will search what are the pros and cons of the Samsung M21 mobile. There I can find what are the pros and cons. If I feel that the Samsung M21 mobile is actually a very good mobile, I should buy it. Then I will go for buying the Samsung M21 mobile from the shop. There is a second option. I have my friend circle. I can go and ask them if anyone having the Samsung M21 mobile with them. If my friend has that mobile, then what I can do, I can just borrow his mobile and I can check the mobile personally. That is actually what I am doing. I am not going to use that particular mobile. I am just going to check that Samsung M21 mobile is working properly or not. Is it a good mobile or not? If I feel that it is a good mobile, then I can go. Otherwise, if I feel that it is not a good mobile, then I cannot buy it. Okay. So that means the prototyping model means what? The demo version. When we are going to buy a car, we are not going to buy the car directly. We are going for the test drive first. If we are happy with the test drive, then we can decide either we will go to buy the car or not. So that is what actually prototyping. We are going to first develop a demo model. We will deploy the demo model to the customer. If the customer is happy, then we are going for developing the original or the actual software. The prototype model is never meant for actual development. We are deploying the prototype model to the customer only for review. If the customer wants some changes, the customer can say me that I want some changes into this prototype model. Then we can change or we can accommodate those changing needs of the customer. We can change the prototype model. There we can add some functionalities or we can remove some functionalities. After rework on the prototype model, we are going to deploy the prototype model again to the customer. Once my customer is happy, then I will go for designing the actual software. So that is the change anticipation, and for the change anticipation, we are going to use the prototyping model. And the second thing is the change tolerance. So what actually that tolerance means? So the change tolerance means where the process is designed so that changes can be accommodated at relatively low cost. So what actually it's saying? It's saying that we should make a flexible software that can accommodate whatever the changes comes in our near future. So like I have told you that I have already given you the example of insulin pump control, weather information system, because I know that you will ask me those questions for sure after the end of the chapter. But if I will go for the question tolerance, that means I should make me prepare for all those things. I will not give you the examples. I will give you only the basic concepts of the software engineering. Then whenever you ask me the question, I should be ready to answer you. I should keep all those examples with me. When you ask me, I will give you the answer. That is question tolerance. So like that, change tolerance means we should develop the software in a flexible manner. whenever my customer needs some changes, we should accommodate the changes with a lower cost. So that is change tolerance. And for the change tolerance, we have a beautiful model, that is incremental delivery. We have already discussed the incremental delivery before. So what actually we are going to do in case of incremental delivery is that we are not going to deploy the whole system at a time, or we are not going to design and implement the whole system at a time. What actually we are going to do, we are going to design a small portion of the software. We are going to implement that small portion of the software. Then we will deploy that small portion of the software to the customer. The customer will review it. If he wants some changes, then he can ask for, and we will go for accommodating those changes in that small particular portion. Once that small particular portion has been deployed, that means has been completed successfully, we are going to design the second small portion. Then after the second small portion, we have the second version of the software. And by delivering or deploying the some sort of versions to the customer, at last we will find exact software that what actually my customer needs. So that is the incremental delivery. So what we have learned? We have learned that customers' requirements are always changed. Now whatever the customer requires, maybe after deploying the software or maybe after 1 year, 2 years, the customer's requirement will be changed. So we should accommodate those customer changes with a reduced cost. So what is our motto? Our motto is not only to accommodate the changes or to accommodate the changing requirements. Our motto is also to accommodate the changes in a reduced cost. The cost should be minimized as it is possible. So we should develop our software with a flexible manner, or we can anticipate the change before the customer asks for. We can accommodate the changes. Suppose take other example, in case of our ATM machine is going to give us 5 transactions if we are going for the mini statement. Now we know that the people are asking for 5 transactions in case of mini statement. But in future, the people may ask for 10 transactions for a mini statement. So we should develop the software, or we should develop the system in such a manner that after 5, 10 or 50 years, whenever my customer asks for 10 transactions, I should accommodate or I should make some changes in case of mini statement. That is 5 statement to 10 statement with a low cost. So that's why we need some proper documentation also. Okay. So that is what actually I told you. I told you that we should accommodate the user's changes with a reduced cost. So we have 2 types of model, that is prototype model and the incremental delivery. In our next class, we will go for the prototype model, how we are going to use the prototype model to reduce the cost. So you just practice all those things. The software engineering course is a very vast course. You can counter with many similar terms in case of software engineering. So you should make you acquainted with the each and individual terms of software engineering. This is actually a very interesting subject also. We are going to make a software. We are going to being a software developer. So we should know what are the basic concept of software engineering. So do practice all those things. Thank you. Have a great day.